Okay, I'm here to show you how to create your Among Us basic design, and then I challenge you this afternoon to add and be creative with this, and kind of continue learning it with or applying what you've learned about animation with, tweening or with the frame by frame. Okay, so if I click play, you'll see that my character is going to walk across the screen, and you're going to hear that sound effect that's common with the Among Us game. Ready? Okay, so that's the basics of it. And then, like I said, I'm going to encourage you to add something more to it. But let's get started with this. So we're going to open up a new Wik editor. We're going to use the rectangle tool. We're going to change the color to whatever fill you want your Among Us character to be. So I'm going to select red. I'm going to make sure the outline is black. I'm going to change the thickness of the outline to be about 5. And I'm going to change the amount of curve there is in the corner. So typically a rectangle has 90-degree corners, but I'm going to increase this curve to 50. And that will create more of a rounded square shape, almost like an oval. So there we go. There's my Among Us character body. And now I need to add in the legs. So I'm going to select the rectangle tool again. And this time I'm going to change the curve just to be about 10. And then I'm going to draw my leg, draw my other leg. It might be a bit too big, so I can just raise them up a bit. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to select all 3 of these shapes by clicking, and then I'm going to hold my click and drag, and then I'm going to let go. And now I've selected all 3 of these shapes. I'm going to click on this down arrow that's called Canvas Actions, or the More options. Click there. And then I'm going to click the Unite button with the 2 filled in squares, and that's going to unite my leg shapes with my body. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to add in the backpack. I'm keeping the same settings as I did for my legs. I'm just going to draw the backpack, and I'm going to click on my cursor tool, select the backpack, and I want to send it to the back of my design. So again, Canvas Actions or More options, send to back, and there's my backpack. Okay. Now I'm going to add in the eye area of the suit. So I'm going to click on the ellipse tool, and I'm going to change the fill color to be the light blue color. Okay, keep the other settings the same. Now I'm going to draw my eye area. And now I'm going to make another ellipse with the white. So I'm going to change the fill color to white and the outline to white. And this will create this little highlight that we know. Okay, and I might edit it a little bit. So I'm just going to change my cursor tool, make it a little bit thinner, move it over a little bit. A little bit like that. Okay, cool. I might actually make this a little bit thinner. Cool. Okay. So now what you need to, now I'm going to show you how to add in those highlights. So you're going to use the line tool, and you're going to click and hold and drag until you get to where about the legs start. And it doesn't matter what color it is. I'm going to show you why. We're going to use the paint bucket tool, and we're going to change the fill color to be black. Okay, we can change the outline to be black as well. I don't think it should matter though. And I'm going to click on the area where I want the darker shade to be. And you'll see that the paint bucket will stop where I've drawn this line, which is a cool feature of Wik. And so when I select, using the cursor tool, select on the paint bucket filled in area, I can change the opacity. Okay, but I just forgot something, so I'm going to undo this. Or I can just delete it. What you actually want to do first is you want to use the path cursor tool. So I'm going to select on the path cursor, and I'm going to bend this. And that's going to create the highlight that we are used to in the Among Us game. So there we go. So I've bent my line a little bit, and now I'm going to go back and do that again. Paint bucket, black, filled in. Okay, select the cursor tool, select the black. Now I'm going to change the opacity. So I'm going to scroll it down to about somewhere between 40 and 50, something like that. It doesn't really matter. It's for the aesthetics of it. And I'm going to delete this line now. And now I've created this shade. Okay, so you can do that to the backpack as well. There we go. Select, change the opacity. Okay, and I can do that in here as well. So I'm going to do another line like that, and delete this one. I'm going to use my path cursor and bend this. There we go. And then use my paint bucket. I'm just going to change this to be the slightly darker blue. And if you want to select more of a gray, you can use the spectrum and have more fun with it. But I'm just going to select something simple. Fill that in. Use my cursor again, delete the line. Beautiful. So there's my Among Us character. And I hope that yours looks something like this one. But you can see that not all of mine look exactly the same, and that's cool, as long as you get the general idea. So now I'm going to lock this for now so I don't edit my Among Us character by accident. And I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to name this layer background. And I can change the overall background of my design by clicking on the gear tool in the top right corner. And I'm going to select black for this one because the Among Us characters are in space, so it makes sense that their background would be black. And I'm going to hide my Among Us thing for now so that it's not in the way. I'm going to create a ground for my Among Us character to walk on. So I'm going to just make sure I'm selected on the right layer and make sure I've added a new keyframe so I can draw. There's my background. I might make this a little bit smaller, or my walkway, I guess. Okay. And I'm going to add in maybe some little stars for design. So I'm going to select my brush, select the white color, make this a little bit smaller. There we go. And now just like add in some stars. Cool. So now when I turn my Among Us character back on, it's a bit big, so I'm going to unlock. I'm going to select my character, except I'm going to lock my background. Select my character. And I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm just going to shrink him a little bit because I think he's a little bit big. There we go. There he is. And so now I can add in my tweening. So what I want to do for my tweening is I'm going to unlock the background, extend it to be about 20 frames. Extend to be about 20 frames. There we go. Lock that again. And now I'm going to extend my character those 20 frames as well. And I'm going to add a tween at the beginning. So I'm at the number 1 keyframe spot, add tween. And then I'm going to scroll to the end and add another tween. And I want this tween to end with him being on this side. So I'm simply going to select him and drag him all the way to the end. And so this way, when my animation plays, there we go. The tweening has added in all of those individual frames in between the start and the end to show that he is walking. Now, the last thing that I want to do is add in the sound effects. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I can name this the sound or the audio, whatever you want to do. And then you're going to select the upload asset. And you're going to select the audio file that I have shared with you. So you're going to make sure that you've downloaded it onto your device first. And mine is right there, so I'm going to open. And then I'm going to click on it and drag it onto my sound. Oh, I think first thing I need to do actually is make a keyframe here. So I'm going to click here and then drag this over. So that I know that the audio file is going to extend all the way through my animation, but I'm going to start at the front. And then I'm going to drag this audio file here, but I want it to be, there we go. Okay, so now if I play, perfect. That looks great. So now to turn this in, this is about a level 2, right? Because you haven't added anything to it. I want but to save it and hand it in, you would click the export button and then export video as an MP4 because the GIF won't share the audio file and the audio is part of the effect. So we want to export it as a video, and then you can upload this to your Google Drive and turn it into the Google Classroom. But I challenge you to add more to it. So you can add in like some moving stars using the tweening and have them rotate like we learned with the ball activity. You could add in other Among Us characters and have them interact, okay? I've given you some inspiration. So if you take a look on the Google Classroom, I've attached some more audio files here that you can use. So maybe you want your character to go into a vent. So you can click on the vent audio and you're going to click on the 3 dots, open in a new window. And you can download this vent audio file onto your device and then upload it into Wick Editor like I just showed you. And you can add in your character going through a vent, which would be pretty cool. So there it is. Okay, so there are a variety of other audio files that you can look at on the Google Classroom, and there's my example. So I encourage you to be creative and have fun with this. You apply everything that you've learned about Wick so far this week and create something cool. Add text, right? Anything or add in your own audio files, all right? Good luck.